I suck at action games. I know the bare minimum of all of Mortal Kombat, so for the review of the new 2021 Mortal Kombat film, I am going to go through my critiquing of it as a regular film critic. So, Mortal Kombat in 2021, what I can say good about it is that the film benefits greatly from good visuals. That I didn't really see a visual blemish anywhere. I think that it's not a visual experience by any means, but the visuals in Mortal Kombat at least hold up to par for at least the average action film. Yeah, after that, outside of the good visuals, everything else about Mortal Kombat is tedious, mundane, boring, overwrought. Uh, if I said boring, it's boring even more. Just the entire film of Mortal Kombat in 2021 just screams generic. Okay, there's no heart to it. The story is basically just trying to pick up pieces of individual people that are trying to, I guess, save their own lives while being helped from other people to save their own lives. And in the process, they're going through rigorous training and develop powers from the games. And at the same time, they're hunted by the bad guys. And that's the biggest issue with Mortal Kombat, not just with the very boring, generic, tedious, overly rushed, while also just way, way too slow and tedious of a film. It just, everything screams generic. The production is very generic. The story, the writing, the dialogue, it's so generic and boring. There's no artistic value. There's no ambiguity in anything. Absolutely everything about Mortal Kombat in 2021, set aside the adequately made visuals, everything else is just generic. And that would garner a 5 out of 10 for me, with it being an average generic. But here's the problem though. In 2021, we're used to these things being generic. Okay? Being generic does not credit it as a benefit. Being generic is bad. The dialogue especially is so cringeworthy. Every line, every word in Mortal Kombat is just so in your face, just slapped at you, as if they have no sense of artistic direction whatsoever. It's in scenes where they could have flourished from the direction of, say, an artistic experience, visual experience, they instead resort to just saying something that somebody feels a certain way. And that's mainly the biggest gripe in the intro, which the intro itself is god awful. But after the intro, it doesn't get better. It somehow, Mortal Kombat in 2021, somehow it is way overrushed while also being extremely slow and boring. I honestly can't fathom how that's possible, but it's possible. If I were to guess, I would just say extremely poor editing combined with just extremely lackluster and just overall bad writing and dialogue. The performances are okay at best, and that's really me giving them a lot of leniency. I think the performance are not terrible, but they're nowhere near good. Just everything is average about Mortal Kombat except the visuals. And even the visuals is very overwrought in just being, just trying to maintain the average standard. So not necessarily are the visuals bad because they're bad, the visuals ultimately end up being bad for not really taking any risks even. Nothing in this film, Mortal Kombat in 2021, takes risks. Absolutely nothing. The story, the plot, the characters, they try to directly go with one main character, but then they add a whole cast of characters on the good side and the bad side, but the problem is they try to give little moments for some characters, not even all of them, but some memorable moments for some other characters, but they don't work. None of the character moments work. Just everything just screams rushed out of production. It's a bad film. It's not the worst film. I just watched Thunder Force the other night. Thunder Force is even worse. If you haven't watched that yet, don't watch Thunder Force. But Mortal Kombat in 2021, if you want to watch something to see good visuals in a film, I guess watch this. But outside of that, everything is so mediocre to very poorly done. Even in the visuals, right at the very end of the film, whenever they're walking off in the environment, the last location of fight sequences, you can actually see, I didn't even look closely, but you can actually see the flooring of the environment wasn't ice at all. You can actually see with each step, they're actually sinking into the floor. So that alone right there shows that there are actually flaws in the visuals. Before that, though, everything about the film's visuals before that is generically, solidly made. I will give it that. But there are just so many tedious, average, boring, mundane flaws in Mortal Kombat in 2021. This film is bad. It is, compared to other films that are actual good films like Blade Runner 2049, which you get a visual experience as well as a very crafty, witty, unique story and mature, in-depth story. We get Mortal Kombat where it's literally, okay, here are characters. Here is some character depth. Doesn't work well. The writing is bad, but action sequences. And here's the problem with the action sequences. Even the action sequences, there's no artistic value to them. Nothing is artistic about Mortal Kombat in 2021. Nothing. Even main villains that are swapped out for the sake of fan service, just the way they did it, there are some parts of the plot by the end of the film, I honestly was truly thinking Game of Thrones, the final season, the very poor storytelling and writing habits from the final season of Game of Thrones, they kind of are reminiscent in Mortal Kombat in terms of the story plotting. And I think you'll understand what I mean if you watch through this entire film. This film is an hour and 38 minutes, and it feels like a 2.5 hour film, but also it feels like an hour film. And that's because the first half of Mortal Kombat is so tediously boring, even in the action sequences. I just didn't care about any of it. I thought that would be the worst part of it, and the second half would at least make up and be an average film. No, the second act is even worse. Why is it even worse? Because the generic, boring story that they had in the first half is completely absent in the second half. And you can say, well, that's for the sake of violence. Okay, understandable. The action sequences don't hold up. Hate to break it to you. I have seen more artistically shot action sequences in films like Taken. And I don't just mean the good first one. I mean Taken 1, 2, and 3. They at least had some artistic values in the action sequences in those films. Very poorly edited and shot. I'll give the second and third one that bad credit. But Mortal Kombat takes the cake for boring action sequences. I have not sat through an action film throughout its entirety and been this bored and just so distracted. This film And I don't mean distracted by the film. I mean distracted as in I couldn't keep going. I just, this film did not grab my attention at all. Mortal Kombat in 2021 has absolutely nothing to keep you watching it. And I watched through the entire film painfully. This film is boring, mundane, tedious, no artistic value. The direction is bad. The writing and dialogue is even worse. The action sequences are terrible. And this isn't me saying that everything about it is just terrible for the sake of being terrible. It's me saying that Mortal Kombat in 2021 is terrible because it's so average and generically done. We have seen a lot better action films made. They are out there. I would refer you to things such as Blade Runner 2049, the first Kick-Ass, that has a lot of artistic value in its story and the fighting. Even the original Blade Runner, Avatar even, has a lot more artistic value than Mortal Kombat. Godzilla v. Kong, Zack Snyder's Justice League, for how bad I thought that Godzilla v. Kong was overall, at least in its action sequences, it's very entertaining. There is a lot of artistic value in its action sequences. Zack Snyder's Justice League had a lot of substance and formula within even the extended original story. But even the action sequences in Zack Snyder's Justice League, set aside the last hour, I think they're mostly adequately shot and filmed. Mortal Kombat in 2021, I didn't see or experience anything, even in an okay caliber of an experience for anything shot. Story, plot, characters, action sequences. I'm pretty sure I keep repeating myself, but this needs to be said. I need to beat this in your head. You can watch this film, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to watch Mortal Kombat. Personally, I would say don't waste your time on it. You can watch it and experience it for yourself. Give me your opinion. Agree, disagree with me. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not a bigot. My personal opinion, because of my personal history and experience with artistic films, Mortal Kombat in 2021 is bad. Just overall bad. That's it. Mortal Kombat in 2021 for me is a 4 out of 10. Thank you.